Anybody else coming in? Oh, what a beautiful day, you see? And so many beautiful people, all of you. We all gathered in the same place in a beautiful room and getting ready to enjoy a beautiful evening. Evening or afternoon? Evening. Okay. So welcome to the First Church of Religious Science. This is a place where we find we can relax, we can let go, and we can experience ourselves. This evening, what I would like to do is to ask those who are outside to come in so that we would really enjoy each other. We always begin our session with a spiritual mind treatment. And so the treatment is being done for all those who work in this building. We treat for the place where we are, this vicinity. We treat for this place, the center, and we are treating for each and every one present here. So take a time to relax, to let go. Sit and be comfortable. Don't sit as though you're falling off your chair. Just sit as though you're in a place where you love to be. Right? Relax, let go, and the treatment. Knowing, believing, and accepting that there is only one presence, one power, one life, and one activity, and that is the presence of God. It is that God presence within us that is always guiding, directing, and showing us exactly what we need to do whenever we need to do it. So as we open ourselves to the inflow and the outflow of spirit, we keep centered, we listen, and we allow the direction that we receive to be expressed in and through us, always in a wonderful way. For our thoughts and feelings are really focused on the good that we are desiring, and therefore we accept the good that is inflowing, outflowing from us. So if there are thoughts of concern, anything that might have disturbed us earlier, we release it, we let it go, and we know that there is only one presence, one power, one life, and one activity, and that is the presence of God. It is our God presence in us, as us, expressing through us in a mighty way, and all is well. This is the word released in law. It is done, and so it is, and so it is. So welcome to First Church, everybody, and those of you who need to come in, please. This evening, I'd like to talk a little bit about creating your own life. And I'm sure each of us in our own way, that is exactly what we're doing. But sometimes we create a life that we're not too happy about. For those of us who have been studying science of mind, we know that we get direction as to how to think. And the focus here is on thinking. Our thoughts, our feelings, we experience it. So as we learn to create our own life, we study. We make that decision. We have goals that we set. So the power of our thoughts is very important. What we think, how we think, and what we are really thinking. We always use thoughts because even though we do not express it at times, we are still thinking, right? And we think, and those are the ideas that we have in mind that we would like to see expressed in our world. And behind those thoughts, and we have that deep feeling. You see, so it's a thought, it's a feeling. And we are inspired when we see other people using the thoughts, their feelings correctly. Today, at times I turn on television and I just sit around and really enjoy some programs. So this morning it was the doctors. I like the doctors. Not the doctors to go and visit the doctors now. And in looking on, there was the first person they presented was a silver medal winner that took place in London, and was in summertime, and it was an Olympic runner, and he was a group of runners, that where they run to a certain extent and then they stop and they pass their baton, that's what they call it, to the other person. And this particular guy, he was the first one. And as he started off, he was halfway through when he felt something cracked in his leg. And the words he used that fascinated me, and maybe I should ask him whether he's a Science of Mind student. He says, and we always have mental, he moved up into his mental exercise. He knew what took place, but his focus was not on what took place. His focus, he said, on the race and winning. Therefore, he summoned that energy, which is we speak about, within himself, and he continued running. He was not as fast as the others in his row, but he made it so that the second person was able to get it. He was focused. He knew what he needed to do. And even in that moment, that stressful moment, he did not linger with, oh, maybe my leg is going down, I'm going to have to, he forgot that. And he moved higher in consciousness, and he moved on. And they ended up getting a silver medal. Do you think that can happen to any one of us? I think so. What I drew from what he was saying was that he applied what he was taught by his trainers. And remember, the Olympic athletes are trained to be very physical but spiritual. And they use that spiritual energy within them, of which we always speak. There's a presence and a power within us that is forever doing its work through us, and we have to learn how to use it. It is there for us to use. And in hearing him, I realized that he must have studied some of this, or he took the instruction from his instructor or his coach, and he used it rightly. So this is what we need to do when we study Science of Mind, because that is what it teaches us, to think and feel aright, because the Spirit within us will forever guide us if we remain focused and we are saying and knowing the right thing. That's why if you have something in mind to do as a goal, you set goals. When you set goals, you cannot vacillate. This morning, I feel I'm going to do this. In the evening, I change my mind. I'm going to do something. You have to stay focused. Because there is power in the word that we speak, and there's also power in the words that we do not speak. Remember, when we do things right, we influence other people. But because many times we do not realize how others are observing us when we do things right. I don't want to say when we do things wrong, they also observe us, but we deal with right. So therefore, if you must inspire people, you must know what you want and you have to stay focused. And inspiration is very important. You see, life, to create a way of living that produce happiness and excitement, we must stay focused and know that we are at all times connected to the source that created us. We have to work with that idea that we believe. Oh, I've had discussions with people. They said, oh, well, it's kind of difficult for me to believe because I don't see. Well, a lot of things I believe that I don't see, but I believe and I see it manifest, and I'm sure some of you have had that experience. You see? So, to produce the right thing, we must stay focused, and we must know what we want, and we must have those goals. It is also my purpose to inspire those who are already using this science of mine to clarify their own purpose. Take a moment, each of you, and focus on your purpose, your goal. On Sunday, our minister, Reverend Atkinson, mentioned that each of us should have a purpose, why we live. You have a purpose for living. And I thought about it. I said, way back somewhere in my it's not teenage life. I had, I don't want to say a death experience, but what it taught me that life was so important that I wanted to live and enjoy life. Therefore, I tried, and up to this point, tried my very best to take care of myself, to experience more of the life that is within me, and to really believe that as I stay focused, as I believe the truth that there is a divine presence within me that is forever doing its work through me, and it will never leave me, in the sense that when I call upon it and I'm focused, it will maybe go to sleep. Never goes to sleep. The Spirit that created us never go to sleep. And it created us for a purpose, so that it would be its own enjoyment. You notice how when a family has a baby, I just saw some pictures of a beautiful baby. Oh, they get so excited about the baby. The baby sometimes wonder, why they're so excited. But as they look at the baby, they're looking at a kindred spirit. Imagine at some time in that individual's life, whether it's a grandmother, grandfather, they never thought they would have a baby or a grandchild or something looking like this one that they're looking at. But they're looking at it with joy and knowing that it is part of them. It is, I think of the Spirit of God within us, observing us and enjoying itself, as we have had moments when we enjoy what we have done. I think of an artist who, in his mind, he has a vision of something that he would like to paint. And he carried that vision with him forever and ever. None of us saw the picture because he never painted it. It was still up in his head. But once he sat down and he decided, he said, my goal is to paint this picture. Then we show up. All of us, we go to the museum to see what he had in his mind to do, maybe 10 or 15 years. And he finally sat down and decided to do it. So some of us here have a lot of things in mind that we want to do. Don't put your hand up, because I know you do. And you have procrastinated. That's a good word. And you figured you can't do it because you're not educated enough, you're not an artist, you can't write this, you can't do that and all that. But there's that intelligence within you that knows. If you have the faith and the belief that it is able to move you forward, then you will make the steps. If you have to go to school and learn different things, whatever you want to, then eventually, it may take a while, but eventually you will see that goal, that desire that you have in mind demonstrate. When we do things that we need to do and other people are around, remember I said earlier, we inspire people. So the science of mind, the purpose is to encourage each of us to understand more and more of the teaching and so apply it to our lives. We can't miss that because you can't teach people if you're not applying it to your own life. And you have to be doing it over and over and eventually say, oh, I got it, And it may take a while before you could say, I got it, But tell you what, if you keep on working with it, applying all the principles, you will find that you will eventually say, yes, I got it. So we all have the power to make our lives work because the power is within us. It is indeed the presence and the power that created us, and it is within us. To create a life that represents what we really want, we have to stick with it. We have to believe that it is possible. The statement, with God all things are possible. When our way of life represents what we really want, we can be inspired to come up higher and do more and be more. And so encourage other people to express their talents and whatever they would like to experience. When we clarify what we want, when we accept that way of life and know that the God presence or the power within us is the mind that we use, we move into action to find a way, because the God presence within us will find a way. It will show us the way. Sometimes we cannot find a way, but suddenly it opens up in front of us. And you wonder where it came from, but it was there. It's a spirit that does its work. So we set our goals, right? I give you 1 minute. Set what is the goal you have in mind. Must be something that you believe in. And first, believe in yourself. Always, the individual's lives, there are some individuals that we have met along the way who their lives weren't going any place. Because all that they think about is I said I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to anyway. It's the confusion, the fear, the lack, the limitation. It's a song, it's a ditty. Now, if you continue to say that, it means that is what you will experience. Because your subconscious mind is such a willing servant that it would say, oh, that's what you want, then that's what you're going to get. So we learn to change it, to get rid of it, and to accept the good. There is always good. It's because mind will create for us exactly what we give. We do it unconsciously or consciously. So we must deliberately decide to make that effort to be a success and to experience greater good. If others around you can experience it, there's no reason why you can't. We can do anything we choose. The choice is always yours. Somewhere in the Bible it says, choose ye this day whom ye will serve. What are you serving? Outside or inside? The mind, your mind always has an answer. The mind of God always has an answer for us. All that we need to do is to ask the question. So what is the question you have to ask? We know that there is a power that lives within us. It is the power of choice, the inner power, the God presence that is always guiding and directing us. I took time to get something out of The Art of Life, and I'd like to just read it, because I'm sure some of you have the book, but it's very important that we hear what Dr. Holmes has to say, because he wrote the book, The Art of Life. And this is what we are doing this evening. We are thinking about our life, my life. You cannot take care of my life. I cannot take care of your life. It is your work to take care of your life. It's your business. You see? You know, many times we grow up and we let everybody direct and show us what to do. There's a little story I tell. This young man worked with his father, and they had one of those hand trucks on the side of the road. They were always selling, and business was very good. And one day he was working with his father for many, many years, and somewhere along the line he said, enough. He came in, he was well dressed, he had an umbrella, he had his shorts, he had everything on, and his father said, where are you going? How are you dressed like that? He said, well, today I made my decision that I'm going to Coney Island. I will spend the day and enjoy myself. Guess what? He went and enjoyed himself, because he discovered that he could have made a decision for himself. Because every day he got up, his father made his decision for him. You see? So if any of you have been waiting for your father or mother to make those decisions for you, it's time that you stand up and decide, I make my own decision. Kind of a little tough sometimes, but you never know. All right, so what I picked out here was, always we hear people say, I'm always praying. And this was from Ernest Holmes, The Art of Life. And he says, in studying the words of Jesus, we find that he never talked much about the negative conditions he wished to change. He took an opposite position. Instead of telling God how sick and poor these people that he met along the way were, he looked at them and he saw them whole. So it tells us that when we pray or affirm our good, we close the door of our consciousness to everything which denies our good. So, in other words, past experiences, we do not go back, dig them up, and talk about it. We close the door and we let it go. And we are ready to move forward and do what is needed and necessary. So he says the thing simmers itself down to this. Can we, in the midst of negative condition, accept a greater good? If we can, we shall be complying with the law of life. We shall be giving life a chance to work for us, and we are ready. It says, suppose every day you say to yourself, my thoughts are radiant with the life of spirit. There is no darkness in my mind. I am directed by the spirit of wisdom. I am guided into right action, into happiness, of success, because the light of spirit shines from the very center of my being. This light illumines my path and makes straight the way before me. The light is God, the living Spirit Almighty. And that is what it is saying to each and every one of us. The Spirit is always ready, and it says to each of us, are you ready to experience the good that is already here for you? I heard a yes. How about you? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Now we have some yes with these treatments. Before I do the treatments, I would like to read our announcement. It says on Sunday the 14th, that is Sunday coming, Reverend Wade Atkinson will speak on the seed of life. And this Sunday will be Practitioners Sunday. So make sure you come and bring a friend so that they will experience a treatment from one of the practitioners. Our noonday meeting, 12:10 to 12:50 p.m., Monday to Friday, continues. And the practitioner or instructor for that period is on our bulletin. Next Wednesday, October the 17th, we will have Reverend Robert Villanova as our speaker from 6 to 6:50 p.m. So we are asking everyone to join our committee of 1,000. We now have 14 sponsors. And I'm saying by Sunday we will have 15, 20. All right. I jump. 14. Let's call it 20. Okay. And the SOM 20 series of classes are on Who's Afraid of Thomas Strawward? And it is on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. and at 6:30 p.m. This is a dynamic class. Now, you can enter the class on single admissions. And even if you come on a single admission, there's so much for you to learn. And that is the announcement. All right, so these treatments. Let's see here. When we are doing a spiritual mind treatment, we are recognizing that there is a divine presence and power within us. See? Power in the universe. God, creative intelligence, universal spirit. Recognize that God is the source of all and unlimited power at our command. We recognize that God is the infinite creator. The higher power is total love and a source of eternal givingness. There is nothing opposed to this higher power. So we speak aloud all we know about God. So we're getting ready to speak the word for all those who have listed their treatment. So maybe I'll sort them out if I could. Okay, I'm going to do this one. And some of them, they sort of overlap. So I know we will have enough time to do them all, but I'll start with this. I want to have a clear mind to know what I want and how to get it. Your mind is clear, so you stay focused. So you do not vacillate, wandering here, wandering there. So for this individual, like everyone else, whatever our desire is, we should know exactly what we want and not vacillate. So the person who has asked, you want to know how to get it. If it's your desire to receive, then it means you're open and receptive to the inflow of good. So for this individual who has asked, there is one life, that life is God, that life is perfect, and that is indeed the life of this individual who has asked for guidance and direction in knowing exactly what to do. As this individual listens to the still small voice within, whatever is needed and necessary for this individual to do and partake and experience, this individual will receive that guidance. For the Spirit of God guides, directs, and shows this individual exactly what needs to be done. Any blockages, any fears, any lack are now uprooted, dissolved, gone forever, and a sense of orderliness and faith in oneself is established within this individual. This is the word released in law. The law of mind accepts it. It is done, and so it is. All right, this person wants to take a course in real estate, but they need to have enough money. Well, there's always enough money. Once you say you have enough money in consciousness, let this individual know that there is enough money source all over, because spirit is evenly present everywhere as substance, as abundance. So as this individual opens his or her consciousness to receive, knowing full well that God supplies his or her need on time and in abundance. So the treatment, in quietness and in lowly listening, this individual recognizes that there is a divine presence and power that is forever guiding, directing, and showing her exactly what needs to be done. And this individual feels and knows that the inflow and outflow of money substance or substance to do whatever is needed and necessary to acquire that knowledge, to become an expert at her profession, is already available. And this individual opens her mind, she opens her consciousness to receive. So if there are blockages, any fears, any lack, old patterns of the past, they are now uprooted, dissolved, and gone forever. And a feeling of divine order is established in her life and in her world, and all is well. This is the word released in law. It is done. And so it is. All right, this person is having a job interview, and she says the person is wondering whether it would go well. There's no wondering. You're going for a job, and therefore your thoughts, your feeling should be upbeat in that, are you ready to serve? Are you ready to work? Yes, you are. So the love, this individual, there is one life. That life is God. That life is perfect, and that is the life of this individual. The job that this individual seeks is already available. And this individual is guided and directed to the right place at the right time. And during that entire interview, this individual feels, knows that the presence and the power of God within is guiding and directing her or him to say the right thing, and so experience that position of which he seeks. The love to serve, the love to express, and the love to be happy in this job environment, or this environment, is the love that this individual brings to this experience. So the loving atmosphere and the loving relationship is extended to all. This love this job is already assigned to this individual, and he or she knows that it's okay. This is the word released in law. It is done. And so it is. All right, this one is like a loving, understanding relationship. All right, serious, there's no misunderstanding in spirit. So for this individual, when we have a misunderstanding, it means that we have to go deeper and find that love. There's always love and peace within us, and we must choose to bring it forth. And regardless of what we encounter, love changes everything. So the love of God, the peace of God, and the harmony of God that moves through this individual, who, as this individual expresses and understands, there's no misunderstanding in spirit. Spirit is perfect, it is whole, it is free, it knows exactly what is needed and necessary to establish and retain a perfect relationship. It is all love, it is all God, it is just knowing and relating and understanding to oneself. And so as this individual learns to relate the loving activity within her or within him, then you're able to attract to you your very own. And you're able to express that love, that peace, that harmony that you feel for yourself. You're able to express it to those in your world. So the expression of love goes forth within this individual, and this individual knows that whatever takes place, the presence and the power of God moves through it, bringing love and harmony, and all is well. This is the word released in law. It is done, and so it is. All right, this person speaks of a job for a niece. Remember that whenever we want to do it for a relative, we always get permission. So this job, the person wants to relocate to New York. New York is a big place, it's a beautiful place, and it needs a lot of people to come and do whatever is needed. So for this individual who has asked, the action and the activity of spirit that takes place within this individual is the action and activity of spirit that moves her upward and forward into higher states of consciousness, where she's motivated to do the right thing at the right time and so experience her heart's desire. And if it's her desire to move forward, that is what will take place. So she's moving forward into a better and a prosperous and a harmonious area. And within that space, she's able to express, to love, and to experience greater good, greater peace, and greater harmony. Anything that prevents her from moving forward is now uprooted, dissolved, and gone forever. And a feeling of divine order is established in her life and in her world, and all is well. This is the word released in law. It is done, and so it is. All right, this person speaks of this is like, the word is like understanding, financial prosperity, knowing, and all right, our source, when we think of prosperity, we should have that feeling of affluence, abundance. I like to think, and this is for all of us, when at any time we need to see and feel abundance, let's go to any fruit store, any vegetable store, at this time of the year or any time of the year. And nature has provided for us an abundance, a supply that we could never miss. And therefore, if we learn to accept it in consciousness that there is abundance everywhere and I am in it because I'm able to see it, to experience it, it's the same like knowing that money is everywhere, substance is everywhere. Substance is God in action in whatever form is needed and necessary, whether it's fruits or whatever, but money. So money is everywhere, equally present. If Reverend Veronica was here, you know, she's the person who loves to talk about money because she feels it. She makes you know that it is so. Well, I'm invoking her voice, so it goes through. And it is the truth, the feeling. You see, you have to have that feeling that I am money in action because I am God in action. That's a new one. It just showed up. You know? Yeah, Veronica, right. It's I am money in action because I am God in action. Wherever I am, God is. And money is flowing to me, from me, to me, around me. And I'm able to accept it. And there's a treatment for this person that is going on. And knowing that wherever you go, wherever you find yourself, you are in the midst of substance. And substance is just lifting you up higher and higher so that you can accept it in consciousness and receive it with love, with peace, and a sense of gratitude to know that all this the Spirit has prepared for you and for all those around you. There is nothing to fear. There is no lack. There is no limitation. There is only love. There is only God loving itself, knowing you as its divine expression, and you knowing that God is your source, and it is so, and so it is. And this person, real estate. All right, a real estate person always wants to put people into a beautiful place. If it's not beautiful for a real estate person, it's difficult to sell it. Trust me, I know about that. So it means that as this individual sees these places deep within, he or she has that feeling of ambience, of beauty, of joy. And they could envision people living and enjoying themselves in that surrounding. If it is not that way, it's not easy to get rid of it. Trust me. But this individual sees the beauty and the harmony of spirit around her. For the Spirit of God created her with eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to realize that love brings to her, which is God. God is love. To her, her heart's desire. So she stays focused on her desire to serve lovingly, joyfully, and happily, and to be of service to others, to allow others to experience themselves in a harmonious and loving surrounding. And there is so much as she abides in the expression of perfect love and perfect harmony. She experiences the direction and the guidance needed and necessary to be a total success in her craft and the work she serves. This is the word released in law. It is done. And so it is. Okay. I think I did it. Okay. All right. For you loving, beautiful people, thank you for being here. I know each individual has a goal in mind and success just stamped on your consciousness. I am a total success and I know it. You see? And we will not move away from that. And you be sassy about it too. How about that? So I close with spiritual mind treatment. I just want to thank everybody for coming to First Church and to be part of our evening. There is a divine presence and power that is forever guiding and directing us. And in lowly listening, we hear the voice of Spirit saying that you are my beloved in whom I am well pleased. You're guided and directed to do the right thing at the right time, wherever you are. That presence and that power of God is. It is right here. It is right now. It is guiding, directing each and every one of us to do the right thing. And we know within ourselves what is right. And we are lifted up and guided as we move forward into this evening's activity, enjoying every moment and knowing that the presence and the power of God within us guides, directs, shows us exactly what we need to do whenever we need to do it. And for this we give thanks. This is the word released in law. The law of mine accepts it. It is done. And so it is. And I thank you.